best sleeper sedans for the money. 10 quiet cars with serious speed. Volkswagen Jetta GLI. Horsepower rating, 228. The Volkswagen Jetta GLI is basically the sedan version of the GTI, which means it's hiding some real fun behind its modest sheet metal. To most people, it's just a Jetta. For those in the know, it's a 228 horsepower turbocharged sleeper with sharp handling and a playful personality. One of the best parts of the GLI is that it feels refined enough for daily use, but still retains that Volkswagen fun-to-drive DNA. The manual gearbox option makes it especially appealing for enthusiasts who want engagement without drawing too much attention. It's a car that delivers way more performance than the badge suggests, and since it's not a Golf R or some flashy Audi, it keeps its costs down while still delivering German engineering with a grin. Hyundai Sonata N-Line. Horsepower rating, 290. Yes, a Hyundai Sonata, Hyundai's family sedan. Stay with me here. The N-Line takes the beige commuter image and flips it on its head by dropping in a 290 horsepower turbocharged four-cylinder and a dual-clutch transmission. It looks almost identical to the regular Sonata, which makes it a true sleeper weapon. The Sonata N-Line isn't pretending to be a track monster. What it does offer is plenty of torque, surprisingly sharp handling, and all the practicality of a mid-size sedan. That's the kind of package you can daily drive without complaint, then casually shock your passengers when you step on it. And here's the kicker. It's affordable. Compared to German alternatives, the Sonata N-Line gives you big performance per dollar. It's proof that you don't need to spend luxury money to have fun in a four-door that doesn't scream, "Look at me." Kia Stinger GT Line, or GT. Horsepower rating, 300. The Kia Stinger GT with the twin-turbo V6 gets all the love, but the GT line with the 2.5-liter Turbo 4 is where sleeper status really shines. On the surface, it's a stylish sedan that most people assume is just another mid-level trim, but with 300 horsepower and a slick chassis, it delivers serious bang for the buck. The GT line doesn't draw nearly as much attention as the full-blown GT, which makes it the subtler choice. You still get the same grand touring vibe, plenty of space, and a car that feels far more expensive than its badge suggests. And here's the kicker, you can often find GT lines at bargain prices compared to their V6 siblings. For someone who wants performance without flashing performance car, the 2.5T Stinger is an underrated gem. Audi S3. Horsepower rating, 306. At first glance, the Audi S3 looks like a well-dressed A3 with nice wheels. It's nothing too dramatic, nothing too shouty. Park one next to a regular A3 at the grocery store, and most people wouldn't know the difference. But under the hood lurks a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine pushing out well over 300 horsepower, paired with Audi's legendary Quattro all-wheel drive system. That makes it a quiet assassin. The key to the S3 is balance. It's not as aggressive as the RS3, which wears its performance like a leather jacket at a wedding. The S3 is more understated, letting you blend in while still being able to embarrass faster cars at a stoplight. Inside, you get a proper Audi interior, clean, modern, and just plush enough to remind you that you're in something fancy. For the price, especially on the used market, the S3 is a genuine sleeper. It's practical, easy to live with, and won't raise insurance alarms the way something with an RS badge might. In other words, you can have your subtle German sedan and still destroy backroads on the weekends. Buick Regal GS, 2018 to 2020. Horsepower rating, 310. Yes, Buick made a sleeper sedan. Well, technically a hatchback disguised as a sedan. The Regal GS from the late 2010s had a 310 horsepower V6, all-wheel drive, and a chassis tuned in Europe. But on the outside, it looked like something your uncle would lease. That's the magic of the Regal GS. Nobody expects a Buick to move like this thing does. It's comfortable, practical, and doesn't attract any attention. Perfect sleeper material. Because Buick isn't exactly a hot brand, you can scoop up a Regal GS for shockingly little money. It's one of the most overlooked performance bargains of the last decade. It might not be cool, but it can be fast, and fast can cover a multitude of sins. Lexus IS 350 F Sport. Horsepower rating 311. The Lexus IS has always played second fiddle to the Germans, but that works in your favor. The IS 350 F Sport looks sharp, but it doesn't scream performance car the way an AMG or M car does. With its naturally aspirated V6 and Toyota-level reliability, it's both quick and bulletproof. What makes it a sleeper is that people don't expect Lexus sedans to be fun. But dial up sport mode, hit a twisty road, and suddenly you're in a surprisingly agile four-door that loves to rev. It's comfortable enough for daily use, but fun enough to keep you from getting bored. Plus, used examples are everywhere, often for less than you'd pay for a comparable BMW or Audi. It's one of those cars that flies under the radar while quietly delivering a rewarding drive every time you get behind the wheel. Volvo S60 T6 AWD. Horsepower rating 316. Volvo isn't the first brand that comes to mind when you think fast, but that's what makes the S60 T6 AWD such a gem. It wears the sleek, understated Volvo design language, which screams responsible adult, not hidden performance machine. With its turbo and supercharged four-cylinder pushing out over 300 horsepower, the S60 T6 has no trouble surprising people. Add in all-wheel drive, and you've got a safe, stable, and sneaky fast sedan that will eat up highway miles like they're chicken wings at one of those food challenge places where you get your picture on the wall if you eat enough. The best part? Most people will never guess it's quick. Park it anywhere and it blends right in. For someone who wants a car that hides its performance behind a Nordic poker face, the S60 T6 AWD is the perfect sleeper pick.
Ford Fusion Sport, 2017 to 2019. Horsepower rating, 325. Before Ford axed its sedans in the US, it quietly slipped a twin-turbo V6 into the Fusion and called it the Sport. With 325 horsepower and standard AWD, the Fusion Sport was way faster than it had any right to be. On the outside, it looked like any other Fusion. Clean, corporate, forgettable. It is as if Ford tried to make a car just for renting when you're on a business trip as a mid-level manager. It is this depressing aesthetic that makes it the perfect sleeper. Nobody expects the beige mid-level sedan in the next lane to rocket away like this one can. Now that it's discontinued, the Fusion Sport has become a bit of a cult classic. Affordable, quick, and completely under the radar, it's a proper sleeper hit from the Blue Oval people.
Acura TLX Type S. Horsepower rating 355. Acura has quietly been getting its swagger back, and the TLX Type S is proof. On the surface, it's a mid-sized luxury sedan that blends right in with any office parking lot. But beneath that corporate exterior sits a 3-liter turbo V6 with 355 horsepower and torque that makes merging onto the freeway a grin-inducing affair. Unlike the boy racer vibe of some German rivals, the TLX Type S doesn't feel like it's trying to prove anything. It's just naturally competent. Acura's SHAW system keeps things planted, and the chassis tuning strikes a nice balance between comfort and confidence. It feels special without making a big deal about it. If you're looking for a stealth performance car with Honda reliability mixed with luxury trimmings, this is your jam. The TLX Type S doesn't get the hype of an Audi S4 or BMW M340i, which is exactly why it's a sleeper, seriously underrated, and surprisingly affordable on the used market.
Infiniti Q50 Red Sport 400. Horsepower rating, 400. Infiniti doesn't get much love these days, but the Q50 Red Sport 400 is a sleeper hero. On the outside, it looks like just another Q50 with a nice set of wheels. Underneath, you get a twin-turbo V6 pumping out, you guessed it, 400 horsepower. The power delivery is smooth, the handling is competent, and the car overall feels like a discount alternative to a BMW 340i or Audi S4. But since it wears an Infiniti badge, most people overlook it. The Q50 Red Sport 400 is also relatively affordable on the used market, making it a smart way to get into a seriously quick sedan without shouting about it. If you don't mind flying under the radar, this one delivers the goods.